Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the BCM KMR rail that you see here, KMR for KeyMod rail. You can see it's a pretty sleek design there. Has KeyMod attachments all the way around, not just at the 3, 9, and 6 o'clock positions like some rails out there. Definitely an advantage over some of the competitors, but the biggest advantage, in my opinion, is in this lockup system as well as the weight. We'll get into both of those as well as some more details coming up next. I realize many of you watched my KeyMod system overview video a couple months ago, but for those of you that didn't, it was developed by a man named Eric Kinsel, who at the time was working over at Veltor, and it was done in order to get an industry standard for a way to mount accessories and rails in a way that's going to minimize the amount of rails that you need. So you don't need a quad rail like you used to have, a big heavy one like that, but you can still have the ability to add things onto your rifle as needed. Now, this process here has been taken a step further here with BCM, because most rails out there, like I mentioned earlier, have it at just the 6, 9, and 3 o'clock. However, here, Bravo Company did it at in between as well in offset locations. One thing that does is it gives you just more mounting options, obviously, but the way they did it was very smart. They did it in a way that you can add your rail sections, and it's actually spaced just enough so that you can add rail sections side by side, so you can mount across should you need to do so all the way around the handguard. Now the rail itself comes with 5 and 7 slot polymer rails, and you can take a look here at the BCM rail. These are the ones that do come with it. It says made in the USA, as is the rail here. And just to kind of juxtapose it with some other industry rails out there, this one's from another company, and you can see that it's squared off. One thing that Bravo Company did on their rails, which I really like, is they rounded the edges, so that way there's no sharp edges when you're grabbing it, and it's not going to get caught on any equipment either. Another advantage to those KeyMod sections being offset is that it allows the rail to shed a little bit of weight while also maintaining the rigidity and strength. Combine that with the fact that the rail is made out of a blended aluminum magnesium alloy, and it comes in very, very lightweight, yet still very strong. You can see the weights as I roll in a couple pictures of them, but the first thing you notice when you pick that thing up is just how lightweight it really is, and it's quite impressive. The rail does require you to replace your barrel nut. Now, the barrel nut that it comes with requires no indexing, which is certainly nice if you're doing the installation yourself. All you have to do is just torque it down to spec. And another nice thing about it is it's the same diameter as a castle nut. So while they do include a tool to tighten it down, a castle nut tool, you also can use the ones that you might already have on hand. The next step after getting your barrel nut on is putting in this index plate. Now this index plate attaches right here on both sides of the upper receiver, and as long as your upper receiver is mil spec just in that area right there, the rail will work with your upper receiver. Now after that, it indexes by using these 2 cross bolts here, as you see on both sides, to go through the groove in the barrel nut. Now this one here is indexed off of the one coming from the other side, so the chances of that ever coming loose are extremely, extremely slim. Another advantage of that crossbolt system is that it equally distributes the pressure around that barrel nut. So that way if it heats up and the alloy sort of changes shape, as aluminum and magnesium blends can do, the pressure still remains constant throughout, regardless of how much it heats up and cools down. Whenever you're talking about some of these more narrow handguards on the market, people always bring up the issue of heat. This here is a government profile mid-length barrel. As you can see, the gas block is right here on the rifle. And where I put my hand is basically right over that, just a little bit behind it. So what I'm going to do here is try to test how well it handles the heat. We've got a thermometer here. We'll check just above the gas block. Right now, this rail is at 85 degrees. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take 30 rounds, load it up here, put it in there, fire them relatively rapid fire downrange, then take another heat sample and see what we find. Tube's smoking a little bit. It does feel a little bit warmer. Let's get a heat check here real quick. We are at 112 degrees. 112 degrees just above the gas block. To my hand, it's warm, but it's certainly nothing that you couldn't handle, and you wouldn't need to take your hand off. I can't imagine any sort of situation outside of a military engagement where you need to fire that rapidly for that many rounds, but just so you know, you can do it, and it's not an issue. So the handguard dissipates that heat relatively well. It's got a lot of innovative features. It's lightweight. It locks up nice and strong. Pretty much everything about it is good, right? Well, there's one complaint that you're going to see out there on the forums that I've seen a couple times, and really most people would never get bothered by it. I don't get bothered by it personally. Is that some folks say this finish here just isn't that durable and it gets nicked up and scratched up. Well, mine does have a few marks on it. I'm not gonna lie, but the easiest way to prevent marks on your equipment and scratches on your equipment is not to use it. So we all know that we're going to use this stuff and it's going to get signs of wear. It's just the way it is, and I don't see it being a problem. And actually, I think the finish looks really nice. It's got a nice matte finish to it. It's very nice and smooth, evenly applied. I'm a fan of it, but that's really pretty much the only thing you'll ever see out there about this rail that folks complain about. And if you don't like it that much, just get it Cerakoted for like 50 bucks, so who cares. But all in all, an excellent rail. Lightweight, strong, comes to market at a good price as well. I believe the 13-inch version is right around $270 and the 10-inch version is even less. So for the money and the product that you get, as well as the customer service that you get with BCM standing behind it, it's really tough to complain. If you guys have any questions about this rail or anything else I talk about here on the channel, you can always post below in the comments section. You can also post over at my Facebook page. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.